Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. And we have this version of March 7th with us today. Actually got her leveled up. She's going to be on this team for a while, the PSP team. And it's one of those situations where, like, this is the characters I have level. Oh, is Feixiao just right over there as well? What's happening with this? Like, there's just a bunch of characters. I guess it's kind of cool. It makes the place feel more alive. There's just so many characters just hanging out here as well, honestly. Oh, but you can't even talk to her. That's so interesting. Maybe we're going to go talk to her now. Possibly. I do know that in the menu here, there is this. You can claim one of these, which will allow you to redeem a 5-star character. And in the list right now, obviously, like, we wouldn't want to choose, like, the standard ones. But there's Topaz and Rune Mei. In the end, it's going to come down to just who I want more and who I want to more in this moment if we will. Or we can wait as well and, like, use this later on as well. And depending on who they might add later on down the line. Which could be a good idea too. Like, of the two, Topaz, 100%, a character we like quite a bit. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. So I'm going to wait a bit anyway and think about it. No use rushing, but it is a very, very neat thing. There's also a gift of... We also got, like, stuff... They're just giving me stuff. Thanks, Honkai Star Rail. And they're even like, hey, you missed a few days of, like, getting this stuff, so take a few of them. That's so awesome. Like, they just keep giving me stuff. So this is how many, like, wishes we have right now. We have a lot. We have a lot of wishes. Really the ideal thing is for me, I do want, like, the center hunters, I do. But I also, like, the priority for me is I would love to have Robin. If we ever get Robin, that'd be fantastic. But let's talk to Yanqing anyway and see how he's doing. Such a crazy, like, cliffhanger last time. And you guys are telling me you have to wait a month?
Seriously? When is this war dance going to start? The Sky Splitter has been hovering there for ages. When can we board and see what's inside?
So people are getting a bit restless about this too?
Is this how long life species live? Everything proceeds so slowly. The effectiveness of anticipation in my emotional center is at an all-time high.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I need to drink some coolant.
Okay. I mean, at least we know that they drink coolant, which again, I love, like, lore about robots and how they function and stuff like that too. That's always fun. Like, when Bender in Futurama would, like, say he, like, if he didn't drink, he'd, like, become drunk. I always, like, love that. He had to drink to survive.
Relax. The Realm Keeping Commission will send boarding notices to all ticket holders.
I like your hair.
The Gazette said the Sky Splitter will fire a salute before the ceremony starts.
Very cool. But it's cool seeing, like, the anticipation for this, right? While at the same time, we know exactly what just happened. We know that Hoolay is on the loose. And that's what makes this anticipation be like, it's like, oh man, it's like, you guys are excited, but, like, there's some terrifying stuff happening.
I saw the schedule for the first day of the tournament. Can you believe the ringmaster accepted 4 challenges? And he's just a kid. So, who are you betting on, Bardo?
Yanqing heard her.
I'm betting on neither. I lost all my credits betting on Roboball games in Taikian.
Oh.
This time, I've decided not to rely on probability games to accomplish my target of getting rich.
Sometimes fights aren't always... Well, they can be probability for sure, but, like, obviously, like, it's one of those situations where, like, you know, you put, like... I understand what he's saying. I'm not trying to be like, actually stop probability, because it definitely is, like, you can get lucky in a fight as well.
War dance.
Oh, Yanqing, and he was looking forward to, like, representing the Xianzhou in this too, right? He was so looking forward to this.
Here you are.
You okay? That's such a silly question right now, isn't it? All this stuff happening.
I heard you and Mr. Dan Heng went to meet the judges, and then a riot broke out in the shackling prison. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you both made it out safe.
So they call it a riot, but I guess it is technically a riot because it was, like, people breaking from a prison and rioting out of there. Discuss what happened, sure.
There was a revolt in the shackling prison.
Oh, recap.
Fortunately, we were protected by the guards until the Cloud Knights arrived to rescue us.
What happened on your end?
I was planning to take Miss March and Yun Li to Stargazer Navalia.
That's interesting,
and
right?
see
Yeah.
the Sky Splitter up close. But we stumbled upon a group of suspicious Foxians carrying official identities.
Especially since this was a month in between the last one, right? It would make sense that you would have to, like, do a recap for some people for sure.
They were acting strange, so out of curiosity, we decided to follow them. It turns out they were actually Borisin disguised as Foxians. It seems they infiltrated Stargazer Navalia in order to prepare for Hoolay's escape. And we foiled their plans by pure chance.
It was, yeah, you caught him off guard there.
I wonder who provided them with those disguises. And how many more Borisin have taken advantage of the war dance to infiltrate the ship?
Those tourists there are talking about you. 100% they are, yeah.
Yeah, I heard them too. But I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint them. I've already reported to General Jinyuan that I'll give up my role as the ringmaster.
That sucks for Yanqing, doesn't it? But haven't you been preparing for so long? Yeah.
Security of the Luofu is more important to me than anything else. I need to fulfill my duties as a Cloud Knight Lieutenant before taking on the honor of being a ringmaster.
And I understand this is very Yanqing. He's very dutiful. He always takes on duties like in a very, very strong way. But like we already know that like the thing that makes him happy is just picking up that sword and using it. And like, you know, so this would have been like one of his happiest times to not only represent the general in this war dance, but also it's his time. Like that's his like, you know, downtime. That's his freeing time. That's his time that makes him feel like he is free, you know?
Those tourists just want to see some good sword fights. Anyone can participate in this kind of tournament. Doesn't have to be me.
You're downplaying how famous you are around these show. People, like let's just use an example. Su Shang has watched you use your sword before just because how amazing you are.
The real challenge lies beyond the ring on the Sky Splitter. If we don't capture the fugitives soon, Hoolay will wreak havoc. Obviously, there's someone behind the scenes orchestrating this prison
100%.
break, intending to spread chaos. If we fail to thwart their evil plan, what honor will be left for us to uphold?
Actually, an incredible way of putting it, because I don't doubt, like, again, even though like I'm upset for him, he's actually really not wrong in some ways by saying like, you know, we have to kind of make sure everything's safe, because it's like the thing where like you know, I forget what movie that was, but I have it in my head like that. I have the idea of the quote where it's like, you know, well, what about, like, you know, we can't do this because we have to do this thing or whatever. And then, like, the answer is, like, well, legitimately, unless we save this place, there's not going to be a war dance next year or the year after or 10 years from now. There's never going to be a, like, and in this case, what honor is there to be told? If everyone's dead, if everyone's gone, like, what's the point of the war dance at all?
Well said.
Feixiao was listening in, right? She's at the table over there.
You may be tiny in stature, but your ambition matches that of the Yaoqing's warriors.
Oh my god, what a compliment.
Hey, this has nothing to do with my height.
Something he's self-conscious about. You know what has to do with your height, how adorable you are. What brings the general, we won't say that to Yanqing directly. That's always outside the game, because they know it upsets him. What brings you here, General?
Yes, I suggested to Yanqing that we find a place to have a decent meal. A hunter must be well fed before the hunt.
I definitely agree that before any activity you should be well fed.
You still have a good appetite, even in the face of disaster. You truly are the Merlin's Claw. Please finish the food quickly so we can get to work, General Feixiao.
Well, that's not up to me. Dig in. I called you here so you could enjoy the food.
This is kind of sweet, right? The idea of, like, you know, she probably realizes as well with Yanqing that, you know, what his personality is like, how he's like a real go-getter when it comes to this stuff too, and he's always like, you know, trying to, like, you know, impress the general, trying to uphold the honor of the Xianshou. He's always like, you know, also trying to uphold the honor of his own position and his own perception of his position as well. So I really feel like this is kind of like an effort to be like, hey, slow down. It's okay. We'll get to all that stuff. Enjoy the food while you really can enjoy the food. Because it's one of those situations where, like, I totally understand what Yanqing's feeling right now. It's an anxious feeling of, like, let's get down to this. But he can also learn a lot from Feixiao. Learn so much from Feixiao. And some of those things is, like, you know, resting. Ever watch Haiku, the volleyball show? So much of that is just, like, resting is such an important part of playing volleyball, too. And I imagine it's the same for any sport.
Me? This isn't the time for a leisurely meal, and this is way too much for me.
Just have a sit down and have some chow.
Oh. You'd give me time to enjoy a meal, but not yourself?
A little side eye she's giving.
Ever since you encountered those Borisson spies, you've been so busy that you've hardly eaten anything.
Yes.
You can't defeat Hoolay on an empty
This is
stomach.
such a sweet thing. It really is, and it makes so much sense.
Take your time. Enjoy the meal and calm yourself.
Like, how awesome is having the generals looking at stuff, not just from the perspective, and it's all the time, the general Jinyuan does it as well. It's not just always like, here's how you swing your sword. It's the other aspects as well, the peripheral aspects that are so important when it comes to being a good fighter.
Hulay's whereabouts are still unknown, and they've even taken Mr. Jiaoqiu hostage. The longer we wait, the more complicated the situation becomes.
Jiaoqiu always said I'm the most impatient person among the Cloud Knights, and I can't argue with that. So, There's no reason for you to be more anxious.
That's
than
so
me.
sweet as well. It's so awesome. Feixiao is like, hey, like, I am an anxious person. So don't try and beat me on this, okay, buddy? It's like, there's no way you're more anxious than me, so sit down.
I've fought against Borisin abominations for years.
Gorgeous city, isn't
and
it?
I know their ferocity and cunning well. The Borisin were clearly well prepared for this prison break, and now they are staying in the shadows. They have no reason to rush out into the open.
Right, they're planning. There's a plan for something here, right? Because again, they had a full plan for the prison break. Yes, they executed early, but they did have a full plan.
When facing cunning and ferocious prey, the hunter must be more patient, biding their time to seize the golden chance for a decisive blow. Once Hoolay loses his patience and reveals himself, that's when we'll strike.
That makes sense, right? It does make sense.
But when will that time come?
Again, there's like still a little bit of impatience, and it's adorable, and it's really great for Yanqing's story. Yanqing's story as a sword fighter and his development has been so great.
Like I said, it's only one meal away.
Wow. Because I think figuratively, right, after Shackling Prison Break, the Seat of Divine Foresight, okay.
General Hua Yan.
Oh, you
The
can't.
Skyfaring Commission has finished its preparations. Do you have any other
And
instructions?
there's March as well. Look at her. Can I say as well, like, I don't think what she meant literally. It might not. Who knows? It might be literal, but I think it's not literal. It's like the whole idea of like, you know, when will it come? When will the time come? It's one meal away. That's not saying like if you eat this meal, he's gonna arrive right away. It's to me like it's a very spiritual way of saying we don't know, but like, don't waste your time just worrying about this stuff. Sit down and have a meal, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. Because I think there's so much to be said for like, you know, Jinyuan taught him about the idea of how like, you know, you only use your sword when you have to, and you have to have a reason for using your sword. And sometimes losing is important too, in terms of learning. Feixiao teaching him as well, hey, like, you know, this frantic nature that you have of always like pushing forward, it's useful in some cases, and you're a very honorable person and you're very dedicated. But there's also an importance in taking a rest and taking a breather and being fully have full strength and knowing the right time to strike. And in this sense, that's what she's saying. It's like, have your meal. You're going to be good to nobody tired, and you're going to be good to nobody just waiting for something to happen. Have your meal. I think it's such a great thing the Yanqing has so many great instructors.
Representing the consensus between the Merlin's Claw and the Divine Foresight, I'll step in as the temporary commanding officer of the seat of Divine Foresight and oversee the 6 Commission's affairs on the Luofu.
Okay.
What is the situation at the Shackling prison?
Hoolay made a quick escape and even sealed the gates of the prison. As of now, the Cloud Knights have re-established contact with the staff inside. The good news is the 2 nameless who were trapped in the Shackling prison are safe and sound.
Dan Hong and Stell.
I know I shouldn't use the word great given the current situation.
Right.
But I'm relieved that she and Don Hung are safe.
No, and it's totally understandable. You like it. I always feel like certain situations too where I'm like, oh, thank God, but then I'm like, oh yeah, but still like the horrible situation they went through, you know?
We've lost contact with one of the messengers from the Xianzhou Yaoqing. The Borisin have likely taken him hostage.
Jiaoqiu, right?
Don't worry, Yukong. Feixiao is leading the wolf hunt operation, and you know how capable she is.
She's fantastic. She gives the energy. But again, it's even like we haven't seen her fully in action. She gives off the energy of someone who's capable, you know?
I have no doubt about General Feixiao's capabilities, General Hua Yan. I'm more concerned about the wardens. According to the plan, the ceremony will begin in 6 hours.
6 hours?
The Sky Splitter will be activated, and all visitors will board the ship to watch the contest.
Honkai loves a timer, don't they?
But now, with Hulay's whereabouts unknown, everything is filled with uncertainty.
Should the war dance really be held as scheduled?
March is right, Grandpa. I heard the escaped prisoner from the Shackling prison is beyond formidable. In case anything goes wrong.
So they're thinking of maybe cancelling it?
So, Yun Li, what do you think we should
Very interesting. He's asking Yun Li directly, right?
Well, I believe we should declare martial law and allocate manpower to search for the escaped prisoners. And as for the war dance, it's better to announce an indefinite delay for now.
Do you think that because the Borisins acted very quickly when they were when there was pressure put on them last time, that I think that while I think Yun Li is saying something that in her mind is going to protect a lot of people, and you understand, like making sure martial law is initiated, everyone else stays in their houses, and it's just like they search for the enemy, right? I think also at the same time too, I think this could push the Borson to do something more, not drastic, but like do something maybe unexpected. Whereas Feixiao's idea was wait to see what they're going to do. They'll come out of the shadows and then we strike. But obviously there's got to be more to the plan than that.
Your plan sounds solid, but unfortunately solid plans rarely get a chance to be implemented.
Yeah.
I believe there are at least two parties who won't accept your
Because that's the thing is, yeah, she's thinking about protecting the most people and making sure nobody dies. You know, which two parties?
The first are the many travelers who have come all the way here for the war dance. If we declare martial law now, it's like declaring that the Law Fu isn't safe. How do you think the outsiders would react? They'd be terrified, and chaos might ensue.
100%, but like, I think that, like, you know, that's a consequence of any, like, you have to let people know what's happening sometimes, you know, you do.
The second party is the staff of the Xianzhou Law Fu's 6 commissions. They've invested a lot of resources and manpower into organizing.
Couldn't give a damn.
Events. Suddenly suspending it indefinitely would create numerous challenges.
And I get why they're doing this. Honkai never, like, because again, I always say, like, tell the truth. We have to tell the truth all the time because the people deserve to know the truth, and I stand by that. The people deserve to know the truth that there's a terrifying situation going on, right? And there's ways to say it and the way to do it in a way that makes them feel more protected, right? And there's like 3 times now that people have been lied to in this game. 3 times. Now, what he's saying here though is a very political aspect, and it's what Honkai always has a big strength of, is like it being very political. It's not pretty. I don't like it, the idea of like, oh, the resources. I don't give a damn about the resources, but this causes a problem again a year from now. This causes another problem again 2 years from now. Not only, and what, again, I don't agree with that. I'm not saying this is what I would do, but I'm saying that now what would happen is like people will be like, I'm not going back to Jiaoqiu after what happened last time, and the investors and the people that are investing in this will be so upset that they choose to not invest in something like this again, you know?
But of course, not everyone disagrees with you.
Yeah, and that's saying you only need coming from a perspective of protection.
Really?
The mastermind behind this incident would fully support your opinion, presumably.
Wait.
Houlay's escape and your discovery of Borison's spies at Stargazer Novalia. Even a child could guess that these events were orchestrated.
Wait, are you saying that, Oh, no, sorry, I thought you said that like he planned to have the spies discovered. No, like Hoolay did. No, he's saying that like this is all orchestrated 100%.
The fugitive is just one piece in the game. The one controlling the pieces wants to spread chaos and suspicion among the people on the Law Fu. If we declare martial law and postpone the war dance, we'll fall into their trap and instill fear in people even before Hoolay actually does anything.
But I was thinking that maybe it would make them do something drastic, but what Wei is saying is that maybe it's like they had this plan all along. Maybe they want martial law. I was thinking maybe we go against martial law because it would make them do something drastic and unexpected. But actually, like, it could be something that they would expect, because what would they think? Because again, martial law would be enacted now as well. Yeah, this is a very, I actually love how, like, not complicated this is, but there's so many, like, different intricacies to making decisions like this, and I love that they don't shy away from that politics and the these type of aspects in this game too. They fully talk about them.
So what do we do?
We'll search for the prisoners while maintaining order on the Law Fu, acting as if nothing has happened.
Wow. I wonder how they would react to that, the Borson.
As if nothing has happened. Yanqing said he'd assist the generals, and now he's nowhere to be found. With the host ringmaster gone, how are we supposed to act like nothing has happened?
He's actually having lunch with Feixiao.
That's why I called the two of you here.
Oh my god, are you suggesting that I take Yanqing's place as ringmaster? Wait, what? Wait, what?
General Huaiyan, are you asking
Wait, are we serious?
to take Yanqing's place as the ringmaster?
That would actually be super fun, though.
You caught on quickly,
Oh my god!
Miss March. That's exactly what
This sounds so fun.
Miss March is a guest invited by General Jing Yuan, Grandpa. How can an outsider represent the Law Fu in the ring? It will make the Xianzhou
Oh, is there like a
Law Fu
stigma against that?
laughingstock.
Dear child, The nameless of the Astral Express are renowned
True.
throughout the cosmos. It's an honor to have them participate in the ceremony. Plus, Miss March is a disciple of the little Cloud Knight Lieutenant. How can she be regarded as an outsider?
Honestly, that's such a fair way of putting it. It really is. Because again, I don't always think of like the whole thing of like, yeah, well, you're obviously there's the idea of being born in a country, but like I live in Ireland, and like I love embracing people of different, from different places that like want to embrace Ireland as well and love Ireland, and like I'm always for that. It's always so cool.
We can't afford to have any problems during the war dance. I'm entrusting you not only with the honor of the ring, but also with the security of the Sky Splitter.
Whoa.
Yukong, please explain to them the rest.
So March is going to replace Yanqing as the ringmaster. This again, I wouldn't expect it so quickly. Wait, what? We're playing as Ling Sha? 3 dual hours before the war. 3? Like, this goes by so fast. Look at this location with Hanya and Dan Hong.
I am sorry for improper management, and I truly appreciate your assistance, General.
Once again, the general will help you out 100%.
There is no need to
Look at this
apologize.
team.
We Cloud Knights fight on the battlefield while you judges punish the criminals. We are two sides of the same Xianzhou Luofu, and it is my honor to serve the Ten Lords Commission.
And here's the thing. Genuine means this stuff. We saw this as well, like previously. He will help people out if needs be. He loves the people in Xianzhou. He's always trying to fill that empty heart with helping others and making new companionships.
I've grasped the situation of the prison break. Now tell me more about the current state of the shackling prison.
By the way, I'm not saying he has an empty heart. I'm saying he has a hole in his heart that's the size of a quintet.
Borison infiltrated the prison in disguise and released the prisoners, spreading chaos.
And there's such an energy to this mission already. Like there's like an anticipation and like a fear in this mission. Like it feels like there's something bubbling right onto the surface.
Among the judges on duty in the 4 divisions, Judge Shui from the detention division was killed and is temporarily unavailable. So, I'm taking over her duties and commanding Arumaton spectral envoys and spiritfarers to quickly restore order in the affected
Okay, so
areas.
jumping right into her job, okay?
I and the two behind me will go deeper into the prison to investigate.
For real, Ling Sha and Dan Hong?
General, the situation inside is still chaotic and perilous. Your presence would be...
It's common for Cloud Knight generals to face danger directly. Hoolay has escaped, and the Yaoqing envoy is being held hostage by the Borison. His fate is unknown. This is a grave matter.
Yeah, because on top of like the idea that like we're sitting here kind of like worrying about what's happened to him, like we don't want anything to happen to Jiaoqiu. There's also the element of like this happened under like again, on the Luofu. This happened on the Luofu.
Not only did the Merlin's Claw offer no reproach, she decided to go after Hoolay herself to prevent further calamity.
She's such a beast.
I believe the Luofu owes her something in return for her fervent determination.
Fair enough.
How did the infiltrators learn about the location where Hoolay was held? And how did they time their plan just before the Yaoqing messengers were ready to escort him?
I think they changed their plan, right?
Finding the answer to these questions shouldn't be too difficult. What truly matters is if we can gather the clues that lead us to the mastermind behind all of this.
I understand, but I'm afraid it won't be an easy task.
For a long time, this hidden force has been pursuing their own goals and undermining the security of the Luofu. Backing down now will only encourage them to further endanger the peace here.
Yeah, we can't let them away with it. There has to be like some sort of stand and fight back in some way or some form, so this doesn't happen again.
The Ten Lords Commission will support your decision with everything we have, General.
Dan Hong and Ling Sha, I'll need both of you to accompany me on this challenging journey.
Okay.
Well, it's part of my responsibilities as the Cauldron
Love Ling
Master.
Sha's voice actor.
So, where would you like to start, General?
You see what I mean? There's always like a hint of like it's not sarcasm, but there's she's almost like in a constant like fancy, elegant, but like snarky mode, right? I love
Let's
it.
start with those Borison disguised as Feixiao.
Okay.
My people have already prepared the evidence.
So we're starting to do some investigations here. We're actually playing as Ling Sha here. That's really awesome. Man, just swinging like it's almost like incense in a way. Her design is so sick though. It really is. Like we talked about the color coding and stuff I guess too, but like also then like I feel like the black and the gold is like such a great touch. Like it's the best. And her hair is awesome also. Let's check this out.
According to Lieutenant Yanqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borison in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
So we dragged the bodies here from there.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a fox.
Yeah.
My alchemist detected
She's so cool.
some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borison were able to disguise themselves as Foxians. Simply put, Foxians and Borison share a common ancestor.
Okay.
Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borison to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
We heard about that, like there's something they took, right? And even like and right now there's a big chance that even Hoolay has taken that pill at this point too. So there's a big chance of that. Yeah, as I said, like I compliment the voice actor of Ling Sha. I love like the inflections, you know, the like there's like a little bit of like a maybe I can like show you guys really quickly. I know like I'm
Simply put, Foxians and Borison share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them.
Damn.
This medicine allows Borison to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
You see what I mean? Like it's like they look like now. Look now. Like I love the way she does that. It's such a great inflection.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed.
Look at the side profile, Don Hung. Borisons have fast metabolism, so if the effects of the medicine don't last long. Interesting way of looking at it, I guess.
Indeed. This means that these Borison have a steady supply of the medicine within the Lafu. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again.
Well, we did see the Sanctus Medicus like disciples attack us, right?
When I was sorting through the prescriptions they used, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borison's body...
They're one and the same, aren't they?
The medicinal properties and ingredients may differ, but the principle remains the same.
Okay.
Since ancient times, the Borison have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Foxians as weaklings. Yet, in order to save their warhead, they were willing to disguise themselves as Foxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
And here's the thing, I'm not denying that there is like a determined factor about like becoming something you don't like to get somewhere. But I would just, the way I would always describe it personally, I'm not saying the general isn't saying is it's hypocritical. That's what it is. It's pathetic, I would say as well. It's the idea of like, oh, like these Foxians are lesser beings to the point that they're disgusting and they're slaves and all this stuff. Oh, but I'll become one if it means that I can win a battle, right? So their values don't actually mean stuff. They're just hateful. You know, they don't actually have any values. Not that those are acceptable values anyway. It's not like, oh, at least you're not a hypocrite. No, they're still awful anyway.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me.
You see what I mean with her inflection? It's so perfect. So we're gonna follow this route now to find more stuff about the medicine that maintains her disguise. No problem following Ling Sha wherever she wants to go.
According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor.
Do you see her like her voice acting so good?
We should be able to retrace the steps of the disguised Borison.
So we're following the medicine trail now. A prison guard collapsed on the ground. Her body is twisted unnaturally. Examine the remains of the warden.
Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bones with a single blow.
Oh, I mean, I'll never forget that. Even though I know she's okay, I'll never forget that crunch of Shui last time.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borison possesses.
Yeah.
This is likely the work of Hoolay.
This is what's so brutal about it. He's just walking through here. Did he need to do that? No, but he did it. You know, this is overkill. This is horrific.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borison truly that formidable?
They terrify me.
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingshaw. To the Alliance, Borison have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hoolay is a monster feared even among his own kind.
Yeah. Like, even there, like, he like, everything he said, even if they tried to push back a little bit, they would stop pushing back almost instantly because of how terrifying he was.
His strength, Hoolay united numerous Borison pacts, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly pushed the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations. And I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after Hoolay appeared. Even with medicinal pellets that suppressed the fear caused by his lupitoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance.
Jesus, man.
If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized Hoolay with her frostblade,
Jingliu, yeah.
the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different.
We probably wouldn't met a lot of the people we met in this world, you know? Like, the fact that Jingliu was able to do this as well just shows how powerful she is as well.
At the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The crimson moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
An absolute brutality left over.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned?
Again, love her voice actor, but I don't think they can be. I don't think he'd be killed right in that way.
On the Xianzhou Jumi, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Lawfu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation we're facing now.
I think it's just that they couldn't kill him, right? I think they even tortured him every single day.
But I guess I understand. The people of the Lawfu are known for their kindness.
Really?
Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve the problem, to the Xianzhou Jumi.
Oh, she's talking about the stuff that she was talking about with her past as well, right? And how she felt like they had a little bit to blame with the stuff going on there as well in the Alchemy Commission.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why Hoolay was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me, General.
All right. Let me tell you more about it as we go.
So yeah, the acceptance of, like, you know, doing something wrong. I do like that while Lingsha is a character who, like, is very analytical at times, and I actually love that aspect about her. I really do. I do also like that they give her a oh, we have to do an enemy first. Okay. I do also like that they also give her a like a very personal feeling to this situation too. It's not just her being, like, you know, very analytical and very, like, about the medicine and about the, you know, this stuff. We always thought there was, like, a bit of a sharpness to her, and she's very good at, like, being very the word used is biting, right? Very sharp and biting. But she also is very analytical sometimes. She's very talks matter-of-factly about a certain situation. But, like, honestly, at the same time too, it's good to also have her, like, have these personal feelings ingrained in her conversation with the general also. Because to me, it showcases, like, more personality. It shows that she cares, you know, that about what happened back then.
Here you go, Master!
I just think it's, like, very cool writing.
What I can really do.
And to bring it up in the way that she did too. I love this so much. She brought it up in a way that, like, felt like very
Lend me your strength.
Are you even
Immerse
DPS?
yourself
Who
in
knows?
it. be of your body and mind.
She felt like she brought up in a way that like is very natural as well. Because I think like you know, we've all done it once where like something's been bothering us and like we don't know the right time to mention it, and then we mention it in a situation where like it seems like the opportune time for us to mention it. You know. Oh, look at that. The example I would give is like, say like when someone goes like
You'll pay for this.
you know, let's say something was bothering us like a while back about like the way that someone said something to us in the past. And then that person where we've already like, you know, we're hanging out with them again, it's like months later, and then we go like, and then they say something that just like slightly ticks you off that relates to the stuff they said in the past, and your mind just goes, just freaking say it to them. You know, say it to them right now. And I feel like that's what she got into. Well, and of course with her situation, it's like she has a right to kind of be like a little bit upset as well, you know? 100%.
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
Lingshot peels open the Cloud Knight's armor and stretches out her hands to search for a moment.
No. This is a Borison in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
So he's still a Borison. So the guard must have realized he was a Borison.
All these Borison are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borison disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship Commission.
Yeah.
Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
So that's also a very interesting thing to note. There's 2 things we have already in this term, this mystery, right? The fact that they must have like someone in a higher position must be providing them with these disguises and this clearance and all this stuff too, because they're getting around too easily. The second thing is that they said earlier, which is why on earth were they able to? Did they realize the plan was changing for Feixiao? Because they heard about this. They heard Feixiao was planning to come here and like investigate suspicious clues along the escape route. Oh, down here? Like, they found out that Feixiao was going to be moving moving Hoolay a day before the war dance, and they decided to act then. So someone also knew about that and knew about the plans to move him at that point too. So there is someone on the inside. Possibly, would you say maybe could be someone of the Ao Shin then, maybe? Well, who knows? Optional, investigate suspicious clues. So what's these suspicious clues we're talking about here? Did I miss some already? Do you think? Is this a suspicious clue? Are you a suspicious clue? No. I'm not sure what the suspicious clues are. A prisoner on the ground, the joy of regaining freedom and a sudden shock. These 2 expressions are frozen on the pale face of the moment of death. What?
Someone bit open his arteries.
Jesus!
Drained almost all of his blood while he was still
Oh, because he was escaping prison, yeah.
Such a cruel and ruthless act.
I'm not saying this is because he was escaping prison. I'm saying that, like, this line here, the idea of, like, why he feels like this feeling of freedom being frozen on his face is because he felt like he was escaping. And then someone, like, that's a cruel way to kill someone, by the way. And by the way, killing someone, obviously, you don't want them killing anyone anyway. Obviously, some people, you know, don't mind. But, like this is brutal. This is one of the most painful situations ever. And not only that, but the fear that will be in your mind.
Despite being a long-lived species, Borison are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hoolay was deprived of food and water in the shackling prison.
Right, so he must have been starving.
It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yanqing be able to avoid being his meal?
It's funny, it's a very dark thought, but she's not wrong that, like, he basically did use his intelligence to avoid being a meal.
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the forest of swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience.
That's so crazy. The fact that like he's literally saying that like it started off as his containment but it became our own test of our own patience.
Just like you said, Miss Lingshao. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
The Foxians obviously want them to suffer.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hoolay went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borisin. But Hoolay, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. So the Borisin kept returning.
So he literally was turning Foxians into Borisin? Is that what we're getting? So that was his experiments, is turn Foxies into Borisin's pawns. Or maybe just even pawns. It might not be so, because he said the Borisons kept returning. Either they use them as food, or they're returning them into, like, Borisons themselves, right?
The Foxians curse his name day and night.
Understandable.
And they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a race?
Yeah, they clearly want him to suffer over and over again. That's clearly what they want.
I wonder if you know why Hoolay wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu, Miss Lin Sha.
I kind of want to find this out.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hoolay, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu as an honor, I assume?
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Lin Sha. Allow me to explain it.
Again, I think she looks adorable here for some reason, but also at the same time too, like I think it's what she was thinking is from an honor perspective, which I guess I wouldn't have thought that either, but like she's saying it like, oh, like because Jing Liu was the one who defeated them, would that mean that you were the ones who get to have him, I guess, in honor? But like the reality is, like, we just found out there that this was a test of patience for them. This was not an easy thing to contain. This was in fact something absolutely horrible that something absolutely horrific that they had to deal with for years. This was a fear that they had in the back of their mind constantly. It's less of an honor and just like something like really, really terrifying, I guess, to have.
Spicy, stimulating. Something ominous has arrived. Each blossoms and divine sword descend.
Why not? Why not do a little battle here? I'm not sure if we're gonna be great with this, but we'll try it out because again, I had Su Shang on this team, but
Here you go, Master.
go for a little blast right away. Yeah, it's such an interesting idea as well because again, like we talk about the idea of like you know, Ling Sha definitely has like a little bit of a disdain. Let's be honest here. She's still being very, very professional for what's happening here, but she has a little bit of a disdain for you know, the people of the Luofu, right? 100%, and the general. You can tell in her voice there's like a little bit of like, oh, we get to see this, okay. Let's see this now.
The truth burns clear.
That's such cool artwork too. She's so freaking cool. Her design's awesome.
Everything in this
Oh my
world
god.
is merely fleeting.
She's such a stunning design. She really does. Wait, it's not over. It's not even over. The rabbits are still coming. Very, very cool. Yeah, I love when they do like these really, really cool poses. And she's such a stunning character design that like it really lends to this like very like elegant pose into this very like magical power that she shoots out with these rabbits. I don't know what it is, but it's like a really, really cool off the wall move. Everyone's moves are so unique, it feels like, all the time in this game.
Abyss flower, blue.
But yeah, I was saying that, like, you know, people from the outside will perceive a certain thing a certain way, and that's totally fair as well, that she does have that feeling where it's like, oh, maybe you got it because of an honor. But I think what we're going to find out here from the general is that a lot of people have perceptions about the way he does things. A lot of people have perceptions about, like, the way the Luofu does things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the truth, right?
I could take 10 of you.
For sure. For sure.
Be of your body and mind.
That rabbit was crazy. Oh my god, here we go.
Now watch this. Time to show
I get to do this move again.
White tiger, less cards.
I adore March's new
Let's settle
movesets.
this.
You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength. Allow me to purge the root of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, this team wasn't the team I made, and it's not gonna be a perfect team anyway.
We've entered the storm.
Like, it's not gonna be like my Kafka team, which I think is actually like very good.
Crush them.
But it's still gonna work out for us in the end, I feel like, you know?
Ready to shine. Here you go, Master.
We need to get rid of these stat debuffs, honestly.
Damage this.
We get to see this again. Like, see what you like? There's such a, she's so like, she has such a, like, look at this, like, it's what I'm talking about. It's stunning.
Is merely fleeting.
Through like these little tapestries, but that's not over. Here they come. It doesn't do a lot of damage, right? That's the thing. But I don't think maybe it's meant to do a lot of damage. It's probably like hit some abilities I'm not really getting in here. Which is fine. Which is totally okay.
The time is now. Lend me your strength. Yeah.
Bloom.
A little bit of a
Eternal
health boost
sleep,
there.
the dead return.
Time to show you what I can
Yeah, like it's obviously going to take me time to honestly learn to use March as well, but I'm glad she's back on our teams, honestly. I really am. I guess we don't need to restore, we can just go for a shot just to break him down a little bit.
Time to cleanse the field. This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your
Get March in
strength.
there again.
I could take 10 of you.
And that's not bad damage either, we're doing that as well.
We've entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
Jesus.
May the foul stench dissipate quickly. Be of pure body and mind.
You chose the wrong enemy.
Moon Rage is ended. We still do this move here as well. It's like a follow-up attack.
Nothing major.
This guy is 300 moves.
Here you go, Master. The truth burns everything in this world.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's such a cool move.
Detecting damage.
Oh, I get it.
Did she say? Did she do the sound of a weapon as she did that? Did she say "shing"? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just she said something and like I didn't because I cut it off. Yeah, let's bring out March again.
Ready to shine. Yeah.
She actually doesn't do bad damage, not at all. But now they're getting healing from this too.
Time to cleanse the field.
Jesus, man. Okay, come on, guys. Calm down with the healing a bit, okay? Calm down with that, all right?
The dead return.
Moon Rage is in it. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect for us.
Yeah. You'll pay for this.
We have to worry about them getting Moon Rage again, I guess.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Stop that right now.
I'll see you off.
Stop that. Never do that to me again.
I could take 10 of you. Yeah. Awesome. Now watch this.
Lovely. I'm just guessing that like I'm just not very good with these characters yet, or maybe like they just took like Sushang off my team as well, which is probably gonna be one of my main damage dealers as well. But it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay.
I could take 10 of you. Allow me to purge the root of the problem.
We move on, you know, we keep going.
The truth, everything in this world
Yeah, I love this.
is bleeding.
There's such like a gorgeous nature to it, really. Let's just keep going for attacks here. Why not?
May the
You get a mending attack all you want. There you go. That took longer than I thought, probably because I didn't get ahead of the mending attack as best as I could. But it's okay. Oh! actually not a bad thing. I think it actually would be go well with March's stuff. Let's go back up here now as well. The lava around here, man. It's like such a dangerous place. We're still following this stuff. The scent. Is it a phrase she's saying? I don't want to be like, you know, bad if like it is an actual phrase she's saying. Dezuki. Look at how beautiful this looks. We've been here, right? This is the place we were with the cranes, yeah. Where they attacked. Whoa. Oh, that's one of the machines. I thought that was like a giant Borison from the distance. It's one of the machines. The wolf-shaped mecha disintegrates into a pile of metal.
Yanqing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Boris. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes.
I did not mean to click
The
that. Sorry, guys.
Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination.
Let's just
and
see what I
found
said
that
at least. A biomedic weapon. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yep.
Parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borison biotissue.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking as well, right?
I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Okay, so the Intelligentsia Guild were doing something with this, right? Have been researching biological properties of long-life species to make combat discoveries, but they didn't actually do this because they felt like it was too far because they didn't want to like step on the toes of the Jiaoqiu. So the fact that there was a capability to do this, but they didn't do it, but then someone else took advantage of that capability, it seems, maybe? Is that what we're getting at? Would say maybe we'll see. We'll see what they say as well.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borison are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borison attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
Possibly. I thought they attacked the ship because then they knew it would have to dock near the near the Jiaoqiu.
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they wanted it to get there.
It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in
Whoa.
broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
Yeah, no, sorry. I thought they were saying that they wanted everyone to see this, but no, they wanted they wanted Ling Sha to investigate it. They wanted someone to investigate it and get attacked by it or something like that, so it would get locked up and then would end up in the shackling prison. Yeah.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so typical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
100%, because it was Scott that pretty much brought this into here, and it was the Intelligentsia Guild that made the capabilities of even doing something like this possible. But maybe they did. Maybe the line they didn't cross was using Foxians, and maybe they still seem to use like Borisons though, right? So they did cross some line, right? Because again, even like I don't know how I feel about like experimentations on like, you know, living creatures at all.
Watch out! This thing is still alive.
Oh, we're going into combat. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, like clearly like these Borison.
Suffering such severe attacks.
That's the Borison stuff inside it, yeah.
Long-life species has crossed the line.
So it's because it has a long life species inside it. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where I hope it makes sense when I say that, like, you know, the Borison, like, what they're doing is evil. They're slave worship evil. They're killing. 1 second, March. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So sorry, March. It's 100% wrong. It's evil. There's racism there. It's absolutely horrific, right? I just hope you know that, like, it's still okay, I think, to be uncomfortable with the idea of them, like, you know, using living creatures for experimentations. Because one of those things where someone could say, well, Calvin, they used the Foxians, and yeah, that's horrific as well. Like, so it's like one of those, yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's really weird. It's really weird. Like, even though I know they're like evil and horrible and horrific and all this stuff as well, it's the idea of it that makes you uncomfortable, right? Even no matter what it is, it's like, oh, that like makes you feel so like weird, you know? Yeah, 100%.
Nice job.
Personally, anyway, yeah. But if someone said to me, you know, hey, they did that to the Foxians, yeah, that's absolutely brutal and horrific as well. It's disgusting what they did to the Foxians. Irredeemable, in my opinion.
To guard and defend.
Not even my opinion. I'm just stating it. I'm just stating it. Absolutely irredeemable.
Of the problem. Time to show you what Azure Dragon, White Tiger, less cards. Watch this. Be of your body and mind. Get it together. You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength.
It seems that Bronya like goes to whoever does like the most damage on our team all the time, I guess. Am I wrong in saying that?
If it can still move, it means it wasn't damaged enough. Let's make sure it never moves again.
Genuine just in on no uncertain terms said, let's break this thing apart.
This battle is
Let's absolutely destroy
The
this.
dead return!
Lend me your strength.
Lovely march. The giant machine goes silent again, like a wounded beast drained of blood it can no longer move.
You haven't answered my question about why Hoolay was imprisoned in the Lafu instead of the Yaoqiu.
I'm curious too.
You've been reserved in your response. Could it be that such an arrangement wasn't an honor?
We have to presume that at this point, right?
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hoolay on the Yanqing lies in the very mech in front of us.
Yeah?
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hoolay's secrets and use them for their own purposes? Just like with this mech?
Wait, for real?
Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yaoqing share a bloodline with the Borson.
Whoa.
And just like the Borson, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity called moon rage.
So they didn't get they weren't allowed to have the Foxy, they weren't allowed to have Hoolay at the time because they felt like there was a possibility that they were too close to the bloodline of the Borson and they could go mad as well.
The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borson did. So...
Well, what do you mean that this would, it would be inhumane to give it to them?
Exactly. While Borison see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline. Countless healers of the Yaoqing have attempted to unravel this mystery, but to no avail.
No, maybe what they're saying is that and I could be wrong, but I think what they're saying is that it would have been seen as inhumane to hand a creature like this over to the Foxians. Because some of them might have like tried to like find out his secrets behind the moon rage stuff, I guess. Is that what? Maybe I'm a little confused here on this one.
Why can Borison control the power of moon rage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently.
Yeah, and honestly, you would be asking these questions as well if this is something that, like, you know, plagued you.
Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions.
I agree. I mean, one of the perfect examples is of like, you know, the Santis Medica stuff with Don Shu, right? It started off as her, like, wanting to, like, you know, all the stuff that they did really started off, I think anyway, with like wanting to, you know, not just Don Shu, but like a lot of people in the Santis Medica start off with the idea of like, I want to be able to enjoy life again. I want to be able to do this stuff, but like obviously that's how they get you in the vulnerable position. Here, I think he's actually saying that like a lot of Foxians would do experiments to try and heal themselves, but might end up finding out something way worse.
To the Foxians of the Yaoqing, Hoolay was not only the warhead of the Borison, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hoolay thus became a poison that corrupted people's minds without their knowing.
That's actually like a really great way of putting it as well. Like the idea that like just the temptation of that there, of having to suffer with this kind of like, you know, this rage your whole life so that it's always dormant, that there would be like a thing where, you know, the best of us, let's be honest, the best of us might find something out that would like improve your situation but might make things worse at the same times too, and you go ahead with these experimentations and it ends up down in the wrong path. I kind of understand what they're saying as well. Like I personally have met so many Foxians in this game that are like so like, and I'm not saying they don't have the moon rage stuff, but that are so reasonable that obviously like I feel like, you know, obviously things have changed, But I can't imagine how like hurtful that would have been to be compared to the Borison in that way. You know what I mean?
That's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hoolay and the La Fu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
A warning?
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the La Fu.
Immortality.
That served as a warning to future generations.
So they are comparing it to the stuff that we saw with, like, not just the Santis Medicus, but the abominations that they call abominations, you know?
The sedition of Imbibitor Lunae.
Oh, Don Feng doing the stuff. Yeah. No, I remember the his own experiments.
By imprisoning Hoolay and the Xianzhou La Fu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yaoqing Foxians and warned the Xianzhou La Fu to refrain from repeating its mistake.
So that's why it's a warning. It's literally like something on full display to tell people to not end up in this like situation.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Vidyadhara, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future for all.
So he's saying the Xianzhou is everyone together, all races together.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the
Oh my God.
Jiuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of Saint?
Man, this is what I'm talking about. She's like, again, I think it's an understandable bitterness that she's bringing this up here. She's kind of like, oh, is that why you did this then? You traded off my mentor even though you didn't do anything about the Santis Medicus?
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Jiuming.
Is he gonna have a different view of this?
But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Don Hung, who had just finished his hatching rebirth?
Whoa.
So that he would have gained the memories of his past life.
Wait, so she's the reason that like Don Hong can remember all this stuff? To me, that's like a lot of cruelty as well though, right?
What did you just say?
That's so cruel.
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would
Jesus,
allow the
man.
Vidyadhara to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path. But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until your arrival now.
So legitimately, like the reason why like Don Hung has such like vivid memories of that past life is because she literally implanted those in his head. She believed that this was basically going to allow the Vidyadhara to resume their duties as soon as possible as guardians of the Arbor, and quell strife in their path. What it led to was there being no cauldron master in the Alchemy Commission until this very moment. And yeah, he performed healing arts in Don Hong, who just became rebirthed after the stuff with Don Feng, so he regained his memories like that quickly.
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor by exiling her.
It's an interesting way to put it, like the protecting someone by exiling them.
Quite the contrary. I should be the one thanking you.
Can Don Hung I want to hear Don Hung's opinion on this.
Thanking me?
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long-drawn lives? For example, you were implicated along with your mentor and forced to leave your homeland without knowing the truth.
Yeah.
And now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
So what he's saying here is that like you were literally exiled as well without even knowing, And now I'm actually like, you know, in a great situation here because even with all that stuff here, you were sent back to me. And now it's actually going to help me handle this. So I should be thanking you.
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the divine foresight. You won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against you.
Oh my god, what a phrase as well. She's like, you won't even let me hold a grudge against you. You know, that's probably something that like she believed in for a while. The idea of this grudge, this idea of like keeping her, you know, like a grudge can keep you going. The idea of that can keep you going. The idea that like she's like, yeah, you're not even letting me do this.
But let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
100%. That's what we want, right?
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lingshaw. At the end of the day, both you and I stand on the side of the Alliance, don't we? Let's keep going.
Can we hear from Dan Heng? Dan Heng's like, yeah, that's neat. That's neat, buddies. So what we learned there was that the reason why why Hoolay was left on the Luofu and not with the Yanqing is because they felt like they were close enough to, they both had that same thing inside them, which was like that moon rage. And they're worried that basically someone would repeat the same mistakes of these like experimentations, the same type of thing that happened with the Santis Medicus and stuff like this too. So I think there was like this fear that like, you know, the path of good intentions would lead people down a path of like experimentations and trying to go too far, whether that be immortality or trying to find a way to cure their rage by experimenting with Hoolay, but that could lead someone down a path where they could go too far and create something that could be absolutely terrifying, like they did with the idea of immortality as well. So they left it there as a reminder, this beacon to everybody that you do not follow the wrong path and end down in the wrong situation. And then he also said there, and Dan Heng didn't get to react that quickly, but he did get to say something. Dan Heng's memories when he hatched, when he was first rebirthed from Dan Feng, all his memories were like cured back into him like very, very quickly, so he could just quickly like do his task once again. And of course we know that like, you know, I think, you know, people were saying as well, like he was like arrested and put into the Shackleton prison and then he was exiled afterwards too. If we can see exile as a kind of safety thing, which I'm starting to see it that way even more with the general, like whether it be for her Master Lingshaw's master, or could it be for the idea of Dan Heng, you know, being on the Xian Shou. It feels like in a lot of ways like the general does a lot of like, I'm exiling you, but it's literally for your own good, so please get out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm not saying that he's like the hunt is amazing. I have my problems with the hunt as well, but I do think that there is like something to be said for the idea of like, I exiled you to hopefully benefit you in some way. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. A mess of bodies because it would have gotten worse for you staying here. A fierce battle because what happened with her master was, that she would have gotten, because of like her experimentation, she would have gotten in a way worse situation, and eventually she would have been like hated so much that something bad would have happened to her. Examine the Mara-struck remains, of course.
These Mara-struck soldiers don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
Yeah, there's the Mara-struck again. So that's the idea the Santis Medicus getting involved as well, right?
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
So it's planned?
The messenger named Moza did say that there were two groups of attackers. And the other attackers, aside from the Borison, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
So Moza knew there was something going on there.
Hide their tracks.
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before.
Yes.
And they used Cloud Hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect.
And we felt this too. Like, remember we were fighting these guys like back in the main quest of the Xian Shou as well. And in this quest too.
You warned me to be cautious of the Vidyadhara Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
What's on your mind, Miss Lingshaw?
Please speak clearly and plainly.
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the Shackleton prison.
Oh, yeah.
And considering the Vidyadhara's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this.
So she's thinking it could be the Vidyadhara Elders?
Additionally, the fact that the Borison need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly.
That's terrifying.
Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borison would require someone with significant authority.
She's making sense, right? Like for all this stuff, like for all the identity stuff as well, like she's making perfect sense.
And the presence of assassins capable of using cloud hymn magic deepens my suspicion about the preceptors.
She has like a lot of suspicions here.
But why would the Videotter collude with the Borison and aid in Hulay's escape?
Do you think that's possible?
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence.
Is it because they would be the ones to like pick up the pieces?
Since this edition of Imbibe de Lune, the once proud dragon race has been powerless, watching their influence wane. Being a native of the Luofu, Miss Ling Sha, I believe you understand the implications.
However, I don't think the preceptors are the true masterminds. If I'm not mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord
Fantilia. Yeah, they mentioned Fantilia before.
Within the Luofu, and instigated the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection.
Because we almost forgot about the Fantilia stuff because of all the stuff that happened last time, right? That's a big deal. The fact that we didn't mention Fantilia a lot in the last episode is a big deal, you know? But Don Hung is saying that, like, it's like, you know, I think it is like the idea of, like, you know, they're, like, as he said here with the idea of the influence, and, like, if, I do think maybe it is the idea of, like, if everything goes into chaos, and if they're the ones that are there to pick up the pieces at the end, then their influence would be, like, felt again.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Videotter's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
That makes sense.
So, what's your plan, Miss Ling Sha?
I'll send an invitation to the preceptors.
Wow.
An invitation?
The preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on Alafu.
Perfect.
Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession.
What?
Then, I'll ask them to meet me at Scale Gorge Waterscape.
You're gonna send them some dead bodies? I mean, honestly, like, pretty, like, hardcore. But, like, I wasn't expecting that.
I'd like to hear their explanation.
She's like, hey, what about this then, buddies? You know? Like, that, honestly, like, she's a lot more like, well, we kind of knew she had a sharp edge to her already, but, like, I didn't think she was this, like, had this much of an edge.
Good idea. If I were to take action, it might alert the true mastermind. I trust you to handle this matter.
So cool.
The internal affairs of the Videottera should remain under their jurisdiction.
This is so cool because, like, again, they think of everything in this game a lot of times, and Jinyuen's right. It's like if Jinyuen started doing this and started calling a meeting and doing all this stuff, like, instantly whoever's organizing this would be like, he knows, you know what I mean? But, like, if it comes down to, like, or, like, not even he knows, but, like, okay, we can't hide this from the general as much, but maybe they think that, oh, well, you know, this person that's, you know, the Cauldron Master, maybe we could, like, you know, chat to her about this and kind of, like, work our way around this, you know?
And don't worry if things don't go smoothly. Once the wolf hunt operation is over, the hidden truths will come to light.
This is so freaking cool.
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Yaoqing messenger who was taken hostage.
Same. Honestly, same.
Hoolay was starving in the shackling prison for centuries. I don't know if the messenger can survive in that wolf's clutches.
Again, I love her voice actor. I love the inflection this voice actor uses. And it's almost perfect for, like, every single moment. Here you kind of hear the shakiness in her voice. There's, like, a genuine worry here at the same time, too. I also think that her voice, as well as she's doing, and for her character, there's such an intelligence to her and, like, a very, like, bright and open intelligence. And when I mean that with that, it's like a spark. Like, there's a constant spark where she's constantly thinking about so many things at once. And you can hear that in her voice because I feel like it's almost like influencing why her voice, like, goes up and down. She's not worried about her inflection or the way she's speaking or the way she's carrying herself with her voice. It's almost like she's trying to contain her words in, like, a package because there's so much going on in her head, if that makes sense.
May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
Oh my god. I love her voice actor so much. Oh, what a switch. 2? Oh my god, the countdown's going crazy. That's a crazy switch.
As I said, I'm a healer. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective.
He needs to cook some food for you.
The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
He's talking about how the ingredients matter the most as well, right?
Delicacy. But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Mock talk, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, You have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Ask if he likes a different vegetable.
Stuff the kid's mouth with the green peppers and cook him alive in a pot.
Oh my god, they're insane. They're absolutely insane.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you, Borisin, have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process. So you can't experience complex flavors.
Really?
Only the saltiness of blood and flesh truly awakens your appetite.
So they literally can't taste like different intricacies in food. They can only taste like the saltiness of blood. Okay.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
You see how much, like, again, aggression and brutality is in them. There's so much so that, like, you know, and again, Jiaoqiu is just like smiling at him as he's saying this. Like, and regardless of the smile, by the way, it's a terrifying situation he's in. I would be absolutely so scared. But like, even here, they're talking about like eating him, you know what I mean? And aggressively so, and they have no problem eating like humans. We've seen this, you know? And long life species and Foxians or whatever.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers. And even a fussy child can enjoy them.
Well, see, like, that's something that I've noticed, like, as well, like, with, like, say, like, if I got, like, a cousin or something like that who's a fussy eater, like, one of the things that, like, you'll see is that, like, you know, they'll say something like, I don't like cheese or whatever, like, or I don't like this or whatever, or I don't like this thing. But they do like it, but just in certain ways. And actually, this is, like, so true with cooking nowadays, because they actually sell this. I don't know if they sell this everywhere, but, like, they sell, like, bolognese sauce with tiny chunks of vegetables in it, to the point that, like, you can't even taste them, but they're there, so that you can, like, it's like, again, it's a marketing gimmick for parents, of course it is, so parents can go, oh my god, finally, you know, Jared, we need some vegetables. But it's like, you know, it is true that this is what you do. It's the same thing with, like, giving a pill to a dog. You know, you put it in something nicer to feed it to them, you know?
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue.
It is a terrifying situation. I know, like, Jiaoqiu was, like, really good, clearly good at talking, clearly good at, like, using his intelligence to avoid this stuff. Moktok is not buying this stuff either, though, because he's kind of like, dude, he's, again, it's one that, it's an, the clash here is because obviously he already hates Foxians, but also he knows that, like, the only reason that he's alive right now is because he basically, like, quote unquote kind of tricked, Hoolay into keeping him alive, and Moktok realizes this, and he's getting so frustrated by it. But, like, the reason why this is such a terrifying situation is that, like, he is amongst a bunch of creatures that absolutely want him dead, that hate his guts, that believe he is a lesser human and he should be either a slave or dead. That's terrifying by itself. But also at the same time, too, like, they're actually doing a fantastic job of, like, having this aggression turned up to 300 when it comes to characters like Moktok and the other Borisin creatures, even as they, you know, have the Foxy in disguise. That every time they talk, there's no way you can forget that they're Borisons, because no person, like, genuinely would talk like this on, like, you know, you could have them be aggressive, like, I hate you and you suck, but, like, instead of having I hate you and you suck, it's more like, I will devour you and eat you, you know, which is a horrific thing to say to anybody, but still, you know, that's what that's how they're showcasing that, like, yeah, like, this is how aggressive they are and how, like, bloodthirsty they are, even with, you know, the Foxy in disguise, and remember, they are Borisin.
You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Luofu, right? Well, she did come back.
She did?
But, unfortunately, I also found out that she committed serious crimes and was escorted to another Xianzhou ship.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hulay's desire for revenge with your clever little tongue?
I'm not saying the Borisin are clearly not, like, dumb, right? Because they're able to, like, organize all this stuff, but this is clearly, like, 100% like a bestial nature getting angry at, like, this very, like, well put together and intelligent plan, because they know in their mind, again, because he's clearly not stupid, he knows that it's a big ruse, he knows that he's trying to buy time, and it's just frustrating him even more.
You see,
and of course they embrace their rage.
Who know nothing about the Xianzhou, but in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're carrying, and the side cranes in the sky.
Little, breathy
The
murmur.
more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes. I wonder if you can maintain your composure when I tear your throat open.
Again, it's all threats. They embrace that rage, don't they, the Borisons? They have no problem in embracing it. There's no, like, you know, diplomacy here. It's my way or the highway.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine. And it will wear off soon.
His composure? So they gave him medicine to be more composed?
Lord Hoolay.
Oh my god!
Pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization.
Oh, go away.
But in the end, you chose to betray us for the freedom promised by the Xianzhou people.
And again, this is a warped view. Again, the idea of my way or the highway, they constantly feel this way. It's like, it's not even a thing where, like, these people can feel like, you know the way, like, some people who enact horrible atrocities know they're doing something wrong, but it's just for their benefit. That's why they're okay with it, right? These people, like, know it's for their benefit. At the same time, too, they just believe it's the right thing to do. They believe in their hearts. Like, Hoolay believes in his heart that he's telling the truth here. First of all, I love the design. I think it's so cool. Like, what a translation from this very, like, big, fluffy beast into this kind of, like, very, like, you know, broad, fluffy man as well. Like, it is, like, a very, like, great, or Foxian. It's a great, like, transition. But he mentioned he took a pill. Did he give him a pill for composure? Because again, I was like, this situation is terrifying. Like, Jiaoqiu's smiling. Maybe that's why he's smiling. Because I was like, this is a terrifying situation. But yeah, this is like, there's no diplomacy here. There's no like, because you know what I mean? Like, there's horrible people in the world right now that know they're doing the wrong thing, but it benefits them to do the wrong thing. In this case, they're doing the wrong thing, something horrible, but they don't see it as horrible. Like, him saying this is literally him saying, like, it's your fault for leaving us, dude. We gave you life. You were our slaves. You were in a good position. And he truly believes this.
But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to us. No matter how far you run away.
Dude, I want to destroy this guy. Refute him by pointing out that there's always our runaways. Sow discord between Mok Talk. Wait, can we try this? First of all, this is horrible, by the way. This is a horrific thing to say. It's disgusting. And again, it's a demeaning thing. And this is why I'm saying, like, for not only is this scary, but, like, how disgusting. And, like, it made me feel disgusting when he was trapped with them last time. It makes me feel disgusting now as well.
Hoolay. Have you ever wondered why it took
if this is gonna work.
7 centuries to come to your rescue? The Borison's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home, Lord Hoolay? Now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yanqing, by a Foxian.
Oh my god,
Jiaoqiu in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs, reaching out desperately for any fake hope of salvation, which in this case is you.
He's playing on multiple things here. He's playing on, like, why they didn't save him as quickly enough, how they're losing to Foxians, how they're hiding and trembling in fear, how they're weaker. And then again, of course, Hoolay does not want to see it like that. He wants his civilization to be, like, grand and big, and we're the best, and we're amazing, we're perfect. And he's saying, like, they're desperate. The reason they came to you right now was because they were desperate.
The Merlin's claw of the Yanqing. A Foxian? Very interesting. Tell me, Mok Talk, is he speaking the truth?
I think it is true, right? She was hunting down the Borisons.
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave.
Oh, shush.
Who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder. A thief. She stole our power. And used her knowledge about us to fight us, using every dirty trick in the book.
Oh, I know. She was a slave. I thought you were saying that she was a Borison. She was a slave, but he saw her as, like, they saw her just as cannon fodder, though. And she used every trick that they knew and all the knowledge to fight back against them.
And she bested you, Mok Talk.
Oh, probably 20 times.
Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated. Since our great pack has fallen apart, who told you that I was alive? And who sent you here?
In our darkest hours, it was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus.
Mongus.
Who showed us the way. Her guidance brought us hope.
This prophet, Mongus, what does she want?
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borisin have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. That's when we learned that you were still alive. It must have been a manifestation of the Master of Immortality.
So they believed that this was like all a sign, that this was meant to happen.
And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yanqing would take you to her ship during the Lafu's war dance. And that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free you from your prison. And just as she said, we did it.
Refute this point by pointing out that the plan has not succeeded yet. So Discord by pointing out Monga's ulterior motives. Should we try this? Yeah, like, so that's the person that's giving them the information. So they are, I wonder if they are like on the inside then.
That so-called prophet lied to all of you. She just sent you here to die.
Look at this design for this character. Sorry guys, I was away from the mic for a second. Look at this design.
But her prophecy has come true. Our warhead is right here, with us.
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison, but you're just trapped in another cage, known as the Law Fu.
Oh my god.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hoolay. I assure you that our Starskiffs will soon arrive. Right now, everyone in the Lafu is distracted by the stupid war dance.
It's actually the opposite.
So this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, your revenge against the Xianzhou ships will be within reach.
I think it legitimately is the opposite. I think they've toned down the war dance and give all the responsibilities to other people in the war dance so they can focus on this stuff besides the war dance.
Perfect chance to return to my weakened, shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet and become a mere puppet in her clutches.
Oh my god.
Her plan is full of flaws. The only paths she has prepared for you are escape and death.
While he wants the path of like destroying everyone on the Zan show, right? But he sees as this like, hey, you've only gotten these coward way of doing things.
Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, you'll follow my orders.
Not only will he sow discord between him and Mock Talk, where he now thinks of Mock Talk as lesser and his people as lesser, he now, not his people, like he still believes his race is obviously really powerful, but his tribe, he now also is downplaying the benefits of this person that, like, of Mongus.
Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiaoqiu, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports, come back, and tell me what you saw.
Wait, legit, he's gonna let us just go for a walk?
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
What's happening here?
Would an alpha wolf ever listen
Jesus.
to a cub?
The design is so cool, though. What an alpha wolf. So wait, is he literally saying to us, go to the ports, come back? So he's confident that we're gonna go to the ports and come back? What?
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will.
Fear in him.
I will always unquestioningly follow your orders.
Why don't you send your people? Yeah, it's confusing. He's sending
I'm
us.
offering you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't you want to run away, Jiaoqiu?
Jiaoqiu. I keep saying it wrong, Jiaoqiu. He's asked him, does he want to run away? What is he trying to do here?
You will come back. Because Foxians like you always obediently return
That's
to
horrible.
their masters, no matter how far they run away.
That's so horrible. Don't say that at all. Wait, so he's just saying like that's how much he believes. Search for help and send news outside. We should definitely do that as well. That's how much he truly believes that they are a lesser species. The fact that he's so willing to be like, yeah, like, you can go, try and escape. You know why I know you won't escape? Because you'll always come back to your masters. That's such a horrific way of even, like, looking at it. Hulay's design is so sick. It's a really crazy design.
You know why I'm letting you go.
I don't want to hear that again.
To the port and report
yeah, you can do whatever you want. Mox, like, you angry?
I don't fully understand Lord Hulay's
Say louder.
intentions.
Say louder.
But don't think you can simply run away. Understood.
Do you think this is going to end up in a situation where, like, we actually don't willingly come back, but somehow we decide to come back? I wonder if it's a situation where, like, we'll have to, like, we'll see it as beneficial to stay within the group of the Borsons so we can have an advantage in there, right?
I can't believe he actually let me go. What game is he playing? Perhaps I can try to warn the Cloud Knights. No. Perhaps I can.
And look at this questioning in his own mind now. What's happening? Look around. The Foxian with a cold expression gazes at Jiaoqiu. There's a sharp pressure to the gaze, carrying it for warning to the healer. Says, every clever little thought you bear leads to severe consequence will come with regret. What? Every little clever little thought you bear might lead to the severe consequence. So it's like every decision you think you're going to make might lead to something else?
Just as I suspected. He's testing.
And that makes sense.
The Cloud Knights must have been aware of the situation inside the shackling prison for some time. Will General Feixiao personally lead a squad to capture Hoolay? For now.
Wait, I hope I didn't accidentally go into the non-optional part of this. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, I was like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Like, because I was like, oh no, I got caught up in something there. But it's actually very interesting that, like, what, you know, while Jiaoqiu is like so smart and so intelligent and so pretty. Look at this character here. Look at that smile. Absolutely gorgeous. I think it's also a situation where, like, even in that moment, your captor who has been calling you like scum and a slave this whole time sets you free. I think it would happen to anyone. His mindset went to, why? What's happening? Oh, he's testing me, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like a very terrifying prospect. You know, like this whole time, Jiaoqiu has been kind of like keeping his composure, but as soon as he said, you go check this out and come back, it kind of like changed his whole perspective on things, right? For sure. Let's talk about all the stuff that happened in this episode, and then we'll come back and we'll have a discussion about this. I don't have as much time today. Not that this is a short episode. It's still going to be like an hour and 45 minute episode, but it's like one of those situations where like I'm not under crunch this week because I'm still like, I was able to manage the time. But just letting you guys know, I have no problem saying to you guys, I had one less day this week because I had something to do. So I just like added some other recordings other days. So obviously I have more stuff to do. It's not a big deal. It just happens sometimes and it's going to happen other times too. But yeah, it's still a pretty chunky episode. How do we switch again to Stell's perspective? Yeah. Yep. Oh, look, everyone's here. Everyone's doing good. Everyone's doing okay. What am I doing here? Let's go to... Wait, can we not fast travel? Wait. Are we not allowed to leave this place? Oh, no, because that's not a part of the fast travel. Yes, okay, of course. So I'm going to go back to the Astro Express, go to the parlor cabin, and we're going to have a chat about the stuff that we saw in this episode. Okay, let's set up a place where we can look at stuff here. This will be good. There we go. So, we started off with the stuff with Yanqing, which I think was like a really fantastic scene. I think it's one of those like emotional scenes that is so important in Yanqing's development. We talk about Yanqing and his development throughout this whole story and this whole time we've been together with these characters. And I love that, like, you know, his development has been such a strong aspect of the Xianqiu story since the beginning, whether that be like the stuff with Blade and Dan Hong, or like his doubtfulness about why he's not getting enough jobs from the general, or to his fight with Jing Liu, or like his lesson about how why you use a sword and why you shouldn't force yourself to just use a sword to fight or to kill, learning about loss and learning about techniques. And now something so important that I think is so beautiful that Feixiao is teaching him, which is sit down and take a break. The world is going to keep turning. You're not going to get anything done if you're hungry or you're upset. And that's coming from someone who has been in countless wars with Borisons. She understands that, like, yes, it's one of those things. It's like, yes, I understand you're a go-getter. I understand you want to fight. I understand you're powerful and you're talented. We know this. But what good are you going to be to yourself and to everyone around you if you're starving and you have no energy whatsoever? Because right now Yanqing has this anxiety about moving forward and actually being able to do actually being able to fight. But Feixiao, it's such a beautiful scene, such a gorgeous, like, adorable scene where she's like, no, take a break. And I think he needs to learn that too, right? And sometimes, again, one of those situations, the general probably says that too, take a break. And we know for a fact in the past he has run off and tried to do other things, like the investigation with Jing Liu. And he's grown since then. But there's also, like, so many times probably people on the Xianqiu say take a break, the Luofu say take a break. Sometimes you need that outside perspective. Sometimes you need someone else to be like, yeah, it's good to take a break. It's really good to take a break, honestly. We had the scene then with, of course, Yunli and March talking to the other general as well. And what I love about this scene too is that they brought up a lot of different ideas. And one of the ideas that, like, they kept going back and forth on, like, what would be the best option for this. And we talked about the idea of martial law. I originally thought that the reason why we wouldn't put in martial law is because it would make, like, them do something drastic. But what's also interesting that the general said that no, it actually would do the opposite, where it actually might make it might be part of the plan of the people of it might actually be it might actually be what they want. It might actually be what the Borison want is for us to enact martial law, because they'd expect us to do something like that as well. But we don't know exactly what they're planning, but, like, that's what he thought too. And the idea came in that March will be the one that will represent the people that represent the Luofu and the war dance instead of Yanqing, so Yanqing can focus on this other stuff that's, like, his duties. And I actually think it's such a really amazing idea and such a beautiful idea. The scenes, I feel like, with with Dan Hong, the general, Hanya, and Ling Sha were also, like, really, really interesting. Obviously, they're going back in here to investigate, which makes so much sense that you would go back and investigate. And the stuff that we kind of, like, found out was, like, that, like, the Foxians basically, like, for years of being, like, pawns and being brought into the army and used as fodder in the groups of Borison as, like, slaves, experiments, and all this stuff. The reason why Hoolay wasn't killed is because they believed that was, like, too good of a death for him. That they believed he deserved to suffer. They wanted to see him suffer. But it's not only that, it's also the fact that, like, obviously, like, he was used as a reminder. It's also that too. But I do think there's an element that they probably didn't want him to die so quickly, because he deserved a way worse death than just, like, a quick death, which makes perfect sense for these characters too. We also, like, confirmed our ideas of why the cargo goat was brought here. It makes perfect sense that, like, that they would have fought with the IPC to make sure the cargo got here and make sure we would have inspected it. That's why it ended up here in the Shackling prison. They also mentioned that basically, like, the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild, as we kind of thought about the IPC, are unsuspecting cohorts in this mission with the Borison. Not intentionally so, but they are, like, cohorts. The Intelligentsia Guild were also already coming up with doing experiments with the Borison, so they had the capabilities to put this type of stuff inside of these machines, whilst on the side of it, the IPC were also transporting this stuff, so unintentionally they brought all this stuff here and also gave them the means to create this opening for the Borison army. And again, it's not intentional, but it's what happened in the end, so it's unwilling is what they said, unwilling. They also learned the idea as well about the moon rage. Is it moon rage? And how most Foxians have the moon rage, but they're kind of ashamed of it. They don't want this in their life. So that's the reason why they didn't put Hoolay with the Yaoqing, instead put him with the Luofu, is because I think, one, they were probably worried that the Foxians would try to experiment on Hoolay in order to get some sort of opening to cure this kind of, like, this moon rage they had. I think he described it as a poison, was this idea of, like, a poison that, like, infected people in such a way through like, because people would want to like do experiments, and like it's not only just this that the Foxians want to do this. There's also what happened with the Santis Medicus. There's also what happened with the people in the Xian show with the immortality. This type of stuff of like progressing forward and with the best of intentions. It is the best of intentions. I want to cure this moon rage that we have. Doesn't always work out like that. It can actually turn out to be like the path that like makes you go down a horrible path, and the situation actually turns out worse. And I think that's what they were so worried about. So it was kind of like used as a reminder, as always, to not go down this path. I'm not sure exactly like the literal sense of how that worked, but since he's like the Hoolay is already used as like a fear tactic for most people on the Xian show, sorry, not the Xian show, on the Yaoqing, I guess it's also interesting that he's also used as like this example of like, do not go down the wrong path, do not follow the path that will get, lead, again, the path of good intentions that leads to something much more horrible in that sense too. Ling Xiao was doing this amazing thing throughout the entire story where she had little jabs at Jing Yuan, and I love this. It shows so much personality in her character. As we said, her character, I think, is a character who's so smart, who's so, like, as you said, at times biting and has so much subtext to what she says. And she's very, like, in a very playful way. I love the snarkiness of her character. But she's not just that. She's so intelligent, of course, but, like, I feel like that manifests in the way she talks, even. Like, she's trying to, like, keep up with, like, or contain her words in, like, this box. That's why they all have different inflections. It's almost like she's, like, calculating the words she's saying as she's saying them. And I think it's a really great way of showcasing like how much is in her mind at all times. But these little jabs at the general about what happened to her master and what happened to her in her exile led to the revelation that Dan Heng was actually like, when he hatched, it was Ling Xiao's master that put these memories back into Dan Heng's head that allowed him to remember all the stuff that happened with the Ambrosial Arbor, so they could, again, the good intentions was so that they could start protecting the Ambrosial Arbor as quick as possible, but it ended up with getting both of them exiled. But in this way, it was seen as a protection for them rather than anything bad. Because I think that, Jing Yuan understands what would happen to anyone in this situation. The same thing that happened to Dan Heng for years as he was contained in the Shackling prison and he was exiled after that. I think it was literally just to kind of like protect him in a way too. I'm not saying it's a perfect solution, but it's like, if you don't leave this place, you will be hurt. And people will hurt you. People will look down on you. It will be horrible. It will be a tough situation, and we can't do anything about this as well. So I do think it was this revelation for Ling Xiao. I love the way she said, like, you make it hard to like hold a grudge against you. Because while the general isn't perfect, I think it's also understandable to look at things from all these different perspectives and understand that the general has had to make like so many difficult decisions throughout the years. And he has his own issues as well emotionally. So like all this stuff coupled together, it's probably very difficult for him as well. But from the perspective of Ling Xiao, I love that she brought this up. I love that they brought it up through jabs and little pokes at him, because that makes her feel so alive. It's such a real characteristic to have someone that, like, you do it, people do it all the time. Like, I would say, if you wrong someone and they would constantly bring up that thing of like, oh yeah, remember you said this, remember you said that. It's, or like the perfect example is like, say like, it's like, say you like insult someone one day, but you don't really mean it, but it was like a hurtful insult, and then like you move on a bit. But then that person would, I'm not saying, you would insult someone, I'm saying someone insulted someone in your friend group. And then that other friend constantly just goes like every like few months just goes like, oh yeah, that was very mean what that person did in the show. Yeah, it's crazy what people do when they're, when they insult people. It's very mean, isn't it? And everyone kind of goes, oh. And I feel like it's so human, those sharp little jabs that almost like replace like a true emotional conversation. But she got to have the conversation in the end and understand what happened with that situation too. They talked all about as well about who could have let these people in, who could have done this, and there were so many theories on the idea. They came up with the idea of the Dragon Elders. They talked about how they needed a map to get through this prison. Of course, it's a winding prison. There has to be moles in the Alchemy Commission. There has to be like a higher authority that gave them like these passages and these passes and these disguises. There's assassins like from the Preceptors, all this stuff. And they talk about the idea that why the Dragon Elders would like this is because if they spread chaos, then they can kind of pick up like from the embers and be like, now we're relevant again. It showcases that whoever's in charge right now isn't able to keep this place in charge, and we can step up and be that people that can work out this stuff as well. I think that's what they came to the consensus was that their waning influenced them to want more influence. And again, I love these conversations they had here too, because it honestly was like a mystery. But also at the same time too, it was like it felt like a very natural next step in discussing like what's happening with this situation, because there's so many like different intricate details. Like again, how did they find out about this place? How did they find out what's happening? We found out later it was this character like mangas, but there was someone in the Xian show who told them about this stuff, because there's no way they could have moved so freely as they did and so quickly and so swiftly. that they were barely even noticed, that Yanqing was the first one who noticed them. Like, it's they had to be like inside job here as well. I love that they're kind of figuring things out as well. He also talked about how like Fantilia is like genuinely the one who was like probably involved in this the most. It's Fantilia. Fantilia as a character is, you know, has already been mentioned. We just need to find out where she kind of like is influencing here too, because she's already tried once to do the stuff with the Santis Medicus. And he also said the Santis Medicus would be involved as well. Like there's some sort of conspiracy going on with all of the stuff, and Fantilia is also at the center of this too. And they organizing a meeting with the Dragon Elders. They're sending Ling Sha, which again, I freaking adore that they're so smart with this. If the general organized a meeting, they would know something was up right away and they knew that they were in trouble. If Ling Sha does it, it's not that Ling Sha's not capable, but it's like, maybe we can get around this. It's not like it's a war general that's talking to us. It's an alchemist. It's a cauldron master. If the war general and the leader of the entire Zansho is organizing a meeting, you know you're effed. So I think it's really smart to do it this way. We then had like the scenes with Jiaoqiu and Moktok and Hoolay, and these were fantastic. These were incredible scenes. I actually like really think that the design of Hoolay is fantastic. I think they did a great transition from like the, you know, 1-to-1. And I love the way they still make them seem like beasts even as they're talking to you. Not that like I'm saying like they're not intelligent, but like even when they're talking to you, it's like a normal conversation with them is, I will crush you. You are a horrible, disgusting creature. Like they're always on that. Like the switch is always turned on with them of how aggressive they can be, and they never hide that. Jiaoqiu tries to sow discord between them, talking about the idea of like, you left this for so long and your people are weak. And I love that he's so smart to call upon the idea of like what their pride and Hulay's pride. You mean my people are cowering away from Feixiao? How dare this happen? And again, he did look down at Moktok. It worked. He saw Moktok as a disgrace in that moment. And Moktok talked about the idea of the reason why this even happened was a character named Mongoose. Mongoose who wanted to unite everyone under one front and like bring back this like dream that they had of being a united Borisan army. But the way that Hoolay saw it as, I'm going to be a puppet for this person. And again, calling upon the idea of his pride, even though this person clearly helped him, even though this person clearly made them feel like it made this whole thing happen, he still turns around and goes, I'm not freaking dealing at all with someone who thinks they're superior to me at all. And it was Jiaoqiu that kind of sowed this discord between the two of them. But then it's kind of interesting as well, because while this was a horrifying situation, it's horrible to see Jiaoqiu there, and it's horrible whatever they're doing to him. It can only feel disgusting to be around these people that think you're like less than. He's like holding it together very well, and they said to give him a pill of some kind. I don't know what that means, but still, it's like a really disgusting feeling. But again, it's intentionally disgusting. One of the most like creepiest and most like interesting things happen in this game just then. He turns to Jiaoqiu and says, "Go check out the docks for me, and come back." That made my skin crawl. Because not only is he testing Jiaoqiu, I think it's also a thing where it's like, it's again demeaning the Foxians. You'll always come back. And there's probably a reason why Jiaoqiu will come back, right? There will be. Because again, he probably will feel like it's more beneficial to be there. Maybe he'll feel like if he's there, it's better than, he knows what they're doing. But it's also very dangerous to be there. At any moment, they could eat him. At any moment, the environment. Throughout this whole episode, everyone was saying, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Because it's a terrifying situation. And I think it's such an important detail that they had here is that they built up this idea of like how he might not be safe. So now that he has to make this decision, do I go get help? Do I do this? Do I inform these people? Everything is a danger. He even looked across at someone there and he's like, oh, is this person looking at me? And that's why they built up this whole, like, again, all this whole episode, them talking about, I hope he's safe, he'll get eating, showing what Moktok and showing what Hoolay can do with the eating, the crushing. It makes you fear for his life even more. So in this situation, it went from like, oh, he's getting some ground, to being like, oh my God, I'm really nervous about this character and what could happen with this, you know? He basically just said, like, you can decide to, like, escape or not. But, like, who knows if that's actually what he's going to get to do. Yeah, this was, like, an incredible episode with so many incredible new details in this as well. Obviously, it was, like, one of those things where, like, again, things are bubbling. We're heading towards the war dance. We're learning about, like, the stuff with, we're seeing some great scenes with, like, Yanqing and his character development in terms of his training as well with his sword mastery as well. March is representing the Luofu and the war dance. There's revelations happening between Dan Hong and Jin Yuan and Ling Sha. And then there's also stuff with Jiaoqiu where he's in a terrifying predicament as well. And all this together is equal parts like beautiful with the stuff with Yanqing. It's revelatory with the stuff and like very informative with the stuff with Don Hong and all those characters. And then it's terrifying, but also like very, very like, I would say interesting to watch. Like, it's a very intriguing situation, but also at the same time too a very sickling, terrifying situation to suffer Jiaoqiu, because whilst he has them on the ropes sometimes with his intelligence, there's always that danger in the background, and I can feel it every time in that scene. Every time they say anything to him, I can feel that danger. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting this series. I just said this video might be shorter, but I think it actually is going to end up being like an hour 50, which is a Honkai episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, but I definitely wanted to talk about everything that went on here as well. I had an absolute blast, terrifying feeling, like a blast, a terrifying blast, and a fearful blast all throughout this whole thing. So thank you to my patrons at the highest tier, that being Typhar2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, the Ghost Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish and Usta, Lynx Markey, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasparian, Jared Bianum, and at the highest tier on my YouTube, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lucinagi, and I'll see you all so soon. Bye bye.